Hello again. In this video, I want to talk about energy medicine, the energy of medicine and vibrational medicine, and what this means for us in our current situation. So, you may or may not have heard of a man called David Hawkins, who was a medical doctor, but he was also self-realized or enlightened, and he wrote many books and gave many lectures. And one of the things that he did that he's very well known for is he created a map of consciousness, and he graded different levels of consciousness and different emotional states by giving them a number, and this number related to its frequency. For example, emotional states such as fear, jealousy, lethargy, greed, anger, these sort of states rate quite low on the chart, if you like. They number quite low. Whereas states such as compassion, joy, happiness, love, enlightenment, they rate high. And our journey on our road of human evolution is to move up this map of consciousness and increase our vibration, increase our frequency. And when we've done, or when we've done that to a certain amount, and we've also worked on clearing our unhealthy patterns and worked through clearing whatever it is that we need to clear mentally, emotionally, physically, we reach the first major milestone of self-realization, which is commonly termed enlightenment. So what does this have to do with medicine? Well, a few years ago, I created a short online program called 5 Levels of Healthcare, Consciousness and You. And what it talks about is how we will attract ourselves to a certain type of healthcare according to the level of our consciousness. And not just consciousness, but awareness. Our awareness, our self-awareness, our understanding of the world. And as our awareness and consciousness expands and grows, we find different types of healthcare. We come across new types of healthcare that have been around us all the time, but we never knew they were there. So, for example, 35 years ago, before I knew anything about natural therapies, the only thing I knew in regards to dealing with health problems was to go to a doctor. I did not know anything else, not one other approach. I just knew that you went to a doctor and you either had surgery as a result, or maybe you got some medication as a result, and there was no other option. And then I started getting into natural therapies very slowly, and the first natural therapy that I ever came across was osteopathy. And that was after months of having a very, very bad back problem that the doctor said they couldn't help with. And that led me to search and then finally find an osteopath, which weren't so frequent 35, 40 years ago as they are now. And since then, I've tried personally over 250 natural therapies and trained to professional level in around 20. So I really know a fair amount about natural therapies. And what I started to see as I learned for myself and then started helping other people is that our level of awareness and consciousness will attract us to certain types of therapies, or allow us to find out and discover about certain therapies, or things will come to us. We will be drawn to them, or they'll be drawn to us. So if we think of the current situation that we find ourselves in, we need to ask, well, what is the vibration of the solution that is being offered worldwide as the one and only solution? And when we think of a therapy and its vibration, its frequency, we also have to think not just of the therapy itself, but the therapist. in other words, the technician behind the therapy, what is their frequency? What is their consciousness? What is their vibration? What is their level of awareness? Their level of God consciousness, we could say. Because we can't create from beyond our consciousness. We can't operate from our current level of consciousness. So, for example, if we have somebody creating a treatment or a protocol that does not have a high level of understanding of consciousness, then what sort of therapy are they likely to create? What sort of solution are they going to create? I think it's important and useful to contemplate this question, because, as I said in this little program that I have, as we move up the levels of consciousness, we start to find completely different types and approaches of healthcare that previously we didn't know about them, and B, we don't even really understand how they work. And I'm talking about things like, for example, flower essences and energy medicine. So flower essences are a very high vibration of treatment because the vibration in nature is very high. Nature is actually more advanced than human civilization as far as their evolution goes. So the vibration in nature and the medicines which are made from nature, for example flower essences, are a very high vibration. They're higher up that chart of consciousness. So this is just a little musing, a short video, just to bring this topic into your conscious awareness. And you might like to think about this when you choose your therapies. What is the vibration? Have a look at David Hawkins' map of consciousness, and if you like, check out my program on 5 levels of healthcare, consciousness anew, which shows how our consciousness increases and expands, how different types of modalities will come into our awareness, and we will move from one modality to another as we grow and evolve, and we no longer resonate anymore with the older methods because they become out of date. Now, by the way, I just want to add as an addendum, I'm not saying that everything in conventional medicine is low consciousness and unnecessary. That's not the case at all. I think there's a place for everything, and there is a place for going and using conventional medicine. However, there are many other options open to us, but we need to know about them and we need to understand them and how they work. So I hope this gives you some food for thought, and I wish you well wherever you are.